Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these felt oak leaves. They go with our little fabric acorns that we made in the last video, which I will link below. And I shall show you what I'm going to do with them so I can attach them to my Christmas tree. So we're going to need to get some wool, 100% wool, and we will be using a needle felting needle, a piece of sponge, and I have a template here as well, which is actually a cookie cutter. So let's get started. So for this to work you need 100% wool. I bought mine in a local shop. I really loved these colours for this project, but you can buy it on Amazon or in various craft shops. I just like to support local businesses, so that's where I got mine. So I'm going to take a nice quantity that will fill my template. If it's not enough, that's fine, you can always add more, so don't worry too much about that. So what I'm going to do now is stuff this just loosely into my little cookie cutter template. Again, you can get those on Amazon. I will link mine below if you like this one. It came in 3 different sizes. I got the largest. So as you can see, it's sort of stuffed in there, but not very well. And that is where your needle felting needle comes in. So these are special needles for this specific job, and they are slightly barbed. If you rub your fingers on them, you can feel they're slightly barbed, and that's what pushes the fibers together. So we take our needle and just start pushing fibers down into the sponge. I'm going into all the points and all the corners just to make sure it's going in there, and to make sure I have enough. I may need to add a little more into these edges and corners just to make it nice and defined. And then we're going to start doing it quickly once you've got it roughly in its shape. The lovely thing about doing something like oak leaves is that they are organic shapes, so you might see that I've used the same template, but these have come out slightly differently, which I really love because it gives them that more organic, realistic look. So we're going to stab this for a while. I won't film myself stabbing it for too long. And once you feel like it has condensed down a bit, we're going to peel it off. I shall stab it some more and come back and show you that. So I feel like it's quite thin here in this point, so I've just taken another little bit. I'm just going to place it on top and stab it in. So if you have any points that are a little bit thin or don't look like they're reaching the edges properly, you can always just add a little bit more. I think I'm going to do it here as well. So I feel like I've poked it enough to be able to take this off. Now the only problem with this is it's now stuck to the foam, so you have to peel it gently away from the foam. And as you can see, that is very fluffy on the back, so I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to turn my template over and put it back in, and then poke it from the other side for a little while and repeat that process. So I've given that side a good stabbing, and I'm going to peel it off again. Try and do this gently so you don't ruin the shape. And now I'm going to do a little bit of felting holding it. So I want to do a disclaimer here. This needle is so sharp. You really have to be careful when doing this. It does really hurt when you stab yourself. But what I'm going to do is gently place it between my fingers and just slowly, because I don't want to stab myself, though I have done many times, start just moving it gently in and out. Not all the way out, because then you're likely to stab yourself, but just backwards and forwards, all around the edge, trying to define this leaf shape and tightening it as you go. And if you squeeze it gently with your fingers, you can actually feel the fibers tightening underneath. So just gently go all the way around the edge. And what else I'm going to do is, where this is really fluffy on the back, I'm going to gently push the fibers in like this, again being careful not to stab yourself. This takes a long time for these to look quite dense like this and not so fluffy. I'm spending a good 20 minutes on each one, but I think they're absolutely worth it because they are gorgeous. So I am going to go ahead and poke that for about 20 minutes. So I shall come back to you when I've given that a really good felting. So I've been poking this one for about 10 minutes. It's really lovely and meditative, actually. Sometimes people just need to rush through life and everything needs to happen quickly. But I find something like this that takes a little time and a bit of concentration is so good for you. It's so good for your soul and good for your mind, to just quietly, gently do something. And that is where we're at. So as you can see, it's a slightly different shape to this one, similar but slightly different. Now this one I've put a little brown stem on. Same method, you just take, let me find the brown, just take a little strip of the colour you want and lay it on using your sponge again. Just stab it in. I have seen people make actual images from needle felting. They've done scenes and things like that by layering different colours, and it's absolutely beautiful. Very skilled, clever people. I'll stick with my little leaves for now. I'm not quite there. So just again, keep going over and over that until you feel like it's nice and securely stuck in. I'm going to go over that a little bit more, and then after another 5 minutes or so, that's come out just how I would like it. So next we're going to take one of our fabric acorns that we made in our previous video. I shall link it below, and I'm just going to pinch that around the top there. And then poke it until I feel like that has secured over the stem. Turning it over and doing it on both sides, making sure I'm doing it from the front as well. It's got a way to go, but you can see how that then catches that in there. I'll show you with this one. Now I've actually added a little bit of extra there to keep it right inside, and with this one the top of it's just poking out, so I might add a little extra on there. So taking just a small amount, placing it over and felting it on. Continue to do that until you feel like it's really secure. So these ones are ready. You may notice I have different acorns on this one now. I accidentally snapped the stem, so that is something. Be careful when you're stabbing the stem, be gentle with it, because that one now has, the stem is too short to use, unfortunately. So I have 3 made, and I'm going to be using some of this macrame cord. It's just waxed polyester cord, and I'm just going to make a simple loop to hang these from the tree. So I shall snip a length and then sew them through the top, just really simply taking a needle, stitching it through, and then tying it off at the top. And then we have a hanging Christmas decoration. I may also, no, I am definitely going to actually make a load of these, maybe about 15 to 20, and hang them in a garland, possibly with some beads in between, so I can hang them on my fireplace as well, because I think that would look lovely matching the tree decorations. Sorry, my brain went a bit fried there. So I'm going to attach some strings to these and we'll see how they look on the Christmas tree. So I've hung them all quite close to each other so you can see how they look, but I think they are absolutely adorable. My tree is extremely eclectic. We have 2 crafters in the household and 2 small children, so all sorts of stuff goes on our Christmas tree, and I think they look really cute. And there's these from last year, my little orange mushrooms. They lasted really well. If you'd like to learn how to make some of these, I have a video, I shall link them below. But stored well, they keep, which is really nice. But how sweet does that look, little? I love them. Yes, they're going to look really good in a garland.